Okay, great. I think it's
All right.
recording now. So cool. So, uh, hey guys. So my name is Derek, and I'm the co-founder of the Hacker Collective. And today we have with us Julio. But before I go on to Julio, let me just tell you a little bit about what the Hacker Collective is all about, right? So the Hacker Collective is basically a place where people come together to train their hacker mindsets and achieve common goals together. So what are these goals, if you ask me? These are things like self-learning a new skill, to start freelancing and monetizing your skill sets, to launch your product and start onboarding users. So we believe, right, learning new things and just building new ventures in general shouldn't cost a lot of money. And when you bring a bunch of like-minded people together, like-minded dynamic people, when you bring them together, right, it just makes this whole journey of doing something and building something so much easier. So this series that we're doing now, talking to all these really inspiring people, this series is what we call the Stories of Hackers series, right? Where we interview people about their journey, where they share transparently about their journey, and where newcomers can come together and just learn from these stories, right? And so yeah, I think if this is really in line with, if this is your cup of tea, come and join us, watch this video, and let's move on with Julio's story now. So hey, Julio, welcome on board, man.
Mm.
Thanks for taking your
What's,
time, man.
what's up, man?
Julio, hey, what's up? What's up?
Mm.
So
What's
why
up?
don't you introduce yourself, man? About like your story and all that.
Hey. I'm Julius. I'm a software developer. So that's what I want to think myself as. Yeah. Um. Okay. I started my journey. Is it? You guys
Yeah.
want to know? Okay. I started my journey as a software developer around 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago initially, but it kicked. Uh, it gear up around last year. Okay, how I discovered this my passion toward programming, especially what I like, what I really like is DevTech, is especially when I got a client project. I
Okay.
was forced to use WordPress, right? I was forced to use WordPress with a builder called DV, and I taking an existing project where the client like to change a lot of things, but at the same time they will complain if something is broken. Yeah, that's when it was the pivotal moment when I think about I really should learn programming as in whole lah, especially web development. Yeah. So how I
Okay. Hey,
learn. Hmm?
yeah, actually, before we go into all these details, maybe you
Hmm.
can give them. Let me just start asking you a few questions now. So you studied uni, right? You went to uni, right? In
Yes, correct.
yeah, maybe you want to share a little bit about your educational background so they know, when you say self-taught, what was your actual background?
Oh yeah, correct. True. Okay. I initially when in uni I was taking a advertising design courses where I learned how to con people legally. Yes, I say that legally. uh,
Okay. So
so
you were interested in design at the beginning.
I always interested in design. I always interested in design, but what I'm not interested is in graphic design,
Mm,
which is two different things. Advertising design and graphic design is two very different things. But for some reason, I'm not sure because maybe it's a Malaysia thingy or Southeast Asia. They're somewhat connected together in a way that people doesn't know the difference.
okay.
Yeah. So that's how my journey started lah, as a designer, not a developer.
Share with us a little bit about what advertising design is all about.
All right, advertising, as I mentioned earlier, is like to learn how to con people. Not really con people in a bad way, but making something that you don't need become something that you need.
I see.
That's an advertising design.
It's about selling through design lah, basically.
It's not really selling to design. Advertising design is not about design as in a graphical design in a sense. Copywriting is part of advertising design.
I
Yes.
see.
Persuasive talk is also a part of advertising design. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Hey, that's very interesting. I'm very interested in that topic.
Mm.
So your journey, maybe share with us your journey after uni. What do you do after uni?
Alright. After journey. This is the best part. Lah.
Yeah.
I applied for web designer since it's something to do that design and also I'm interested in making a web app. Yeah, I started a web designer, but when I arrived, little did I know that I will be more. I didn't do any coding at all in my first job, I didn't do any design at all. Most of it is just mix and match between coding and a bit of copywriting. Yes, that's what I really do. So after I finish uni, I venture into web designing, into WordPress. I tried Webflow previously, and I realized a lot of limitation. There's
Mm.
really a lot of, yes, you can do a lot of thing, creative stuff with it. Maybe for a simple project, I really recommend something like Webflow, but something really complicated, or maybe something that you don't want your client to touch, because
Yeah.
certain client will complain to you that, hey, why I change this suddenly everything broken. Yeah, you really need something else, like the real development from scratch lah.
Okay, and then that's how you started your journey learning to code.
Yeah, that's basically how I started lah, because I
Okay,
found a
so
lot of
so
limitation.
when you said this job, is this an actual job or is this more like a freelance like project?
At first, it was freelance. I
Mm.
started doing a freelance, and the client asked me to do website in Wix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the best. They asked me to do in Wix. They asked a lot of. It's not that I want to do in Wix, but they already purchased the premium for
Okay.
their previous designer. So I started doing it, and they're asking a lot of requests that I know is almost impossible to do with pure Wix. But Wix have something called X. I forgot what editor X. Yeah, they call editor X, which you can use code in it. So
Okay.
I try a bit, and I realized, wow, I like it, lah. And
Okay.
I like it, and then the client was happy with it. Even though for me, it's a bit hacky in a way. Yes,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
how
But
I.
how did you get this job, even before even knowing anything about tech?
Hmm. I think it's more about connection. This one
Connection
is
lah.
more, yeah. This one is pure networking. I
Okay,
got
so
friends of friends. Mm.
you yourself, you went out of your comfort zone, you went out to look for your own friends and do project for them first. And that built as like your stepping stone lah to go into this industry, is it?
Yes, correct. I try
Okay.
a lot of stuff also.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
That's nice. Huh? That's the whole idea, right? Exploring a ton of different. I personally myself also I use WordPress and all that stuff, and I really didn't like it. I
Yeah.
hated it. So okay, so share with me also your journey. Now this I think this is the more interesting part, right? Where you
Mm.
realize that all these web builders and all that just didn't meet the need that you wanted to fulfill. All right.
Hmm.
So how was your learning journey like
How was
in
my
terms of
learning
coding?
journey?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe as a web developer, HTML
Mm,
and CSS is not a programming language, or it's just a markup. It's the
mm,
easiest part. But for JavaScript, it's another new world. I can say it. At first, when I started with JavaScript, previously, I didn't start with JavaScript at all. Actually, in uni, we have called web design courses, which we use a few of jQuery. Yeah, I started with jQuery, and then as last time I didn't even know JavaScript and all. I thought it's part of JavaScript. And then at first I tried to implement jQuery in JavaScript project, and then I realized it's just a library. That's how I find React at the same time. Yes. So the first few weeks of learning JavaScript is, is like you're trying to move a mountain. I'm not joking. You're like trying to move a mountain. And as usual, it's hard, but then it's like a graph. You plateau at a certain point, and then once you understand everything, the the amount of knowledge that you can get within a short amount of time is the higher and higher. Eh, It's much more easier after maybe a few months to grab some new things, especially JavaScript, and yeah, something like that.
what I just want to ask, right? So, were you working when you were learning, or you quit your job and you were learning full time
No, I learned while working.
while working in what job is
Yes.
this? This was the WordPress job, is
Uh,
it?
yes, correct, true.
So how was it like? So you work? Can you tell me your how was your schedule like when you were when you were learning?
Right. Okay. When I was first working, most of the time it's work from home because it started
Oh,
around the early pandemic time.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I already started a work from home. Of course, the first few project I didn't even bother to touch learning, and I realized because of the first project, which the project was require me to do a landing page for Durex Singapore. They have campaign going on.
Durex.
Yes, correct.
Oh, nice.
Right, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they asked me to do a certain thing, which I don't know how, but then as usual, I'm good at googling. I managed to do it,
Okay.
and at that point, I was thinking, I should really learn. So since the first few months is the workload is a bit a bit few. There's no much work going on, so I used the time most of the time. I woke up, clock in, I study until they call me back to find an to ask me to do job. That I stop, something like that.
So in a way, would you say that you were kind of lucky that you got a job? Because when I was learning back in the days, right, I
Mm,
didn't have a job, right? So I had no salary and I was just learning full time. So for
mm.
yourself, you had a job, but you had a lot of free time to explore as well. Would you say that's a blessing, or would you say, what would you advise other people to do when learning to code?
Yes, yes, yes. This you might think it's a blessing. It is a blessing, but in a way, some people might not see it as a blessing because me as a person, my what we call it, when I have a project to finish deadline,
Yeah.
my rate of learning is faster.
Okay.
Yeah, rate of learning is faster. When I don't have a job and I don't have any deadline, I tend to take it slow. So in a way, it's a blessing for me. For someone who easily gets stressed, maybe it's not. Yes, I can say it's a
Okay.
blessing.
That's great to hear, man. So, what are the learning resources that you use throughout your learn? And how long was the duration from zero? Because I'm sure you started from zero, right? At some point,
Mm,
you didn't know anything about coding. Even after uni, you didn't know much about coding, right? It was only
mm,
after uni you explored it. So, from day one of learning to code, right, to the day where you felt like, hey, shit, this is where I feel like I can do something, right? Or this is where
mm.
I can get hired, right? How long was the duration?
Maybe I do know about coding. It's in JavaScript because we do have. I need to learn in uni, but it's not something that I practice every day. But I can say, of course, I forgot about it. But your question is, what sources is it?
No, what resources you use and how long did you use to go from zero to job ready?
Okay. Uh, of course, I Google as like everybody does. I follow YouTube, and I realized it didn't work. Some of the YouTube tutorial is just bad, and some of it is just out of date. So I decided to purchase a course by DevEd. DevEd is it? His name is DevEd. It's a creative JavaScript course, which I really purchased it, and it's great. But at some point, I realized that learning through video only won't make me go so far because it
Yes.
introduces you to something called tutorial hell. Yeah,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
it's
I've been through
tutorial
that.
hell.
Yes.
Yes, and then I started to learn from docs.
Sorry, learn what?
I from documentation from the
Okay.
JavaScript
Okay.
documentation. I started from there, and I combined resources and combined with another books called Eloquent JavaScript.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, I use a lot of resources to use it to learn, and then after a while, let's say I learn something topic like say example array. I learn, I didn't understand, I jump to books. If the books also I didn't understand, I find some Stack Overflow. Yes. And then I repeat the process. One, two, three. It's
Okay.
like recursion programming lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how everyone does it, right? Pretty much, right? We
Yeah.
can just go through every resources you can find. Um.
Yeah, but mm, definitely.
Would do you have any advice that you want to give? Like, if there was one advice you can give to a beginner coming onto this whole learning journey, what would you say to that person?
All right. The best advice, if I know myself back in the days, is that learning programming is hard. If you think it's easy and then you give up, if you give up, you might think it's easy for other people. It's not. And if you start, don't stick to one courses. don't stick to a video course. You read. You don't understand. You go read. Maybe medium.com. You go find the answer in documentation. There's always an answer for everything that you don't know about programming. And if
Agreed,
you think
agreed.
that your code is sucks, it sucks, and it's a progress. Yes, don't be perfectionist.
Don't be a perfectionist, lah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you say your life changed after learning how to code?
Okay.
Was it a big impact at all, or just share your thoughts on this?
It is a really big impact. Ever since I learned to code, I find there's a lot of opportunity in IT world. Yeah, it's opened a lot of job opportunity for me and also freelance opportunity, and it's also make me, in a way, understand how things work.
Want to elaborate on that?
All right. Um. Okay. Me as a last time, I'm a I interested in UI UX, and I realized that wow, why can't they do this? Why can't they do that? Why I ask this feature is not coming in? And when I learn programming, I become more empathic that I know why they can't do this. It's hard. It's not as easy as everyone trying to complain, say it. So instead of complaining, and now I say, oh, it's okay. Maybe this kind of situation is very hard to fix. Yes. A
Understand?
biggest example is if you have heard about Star Citizen, it's a
No,
game.
never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a game where we keep complaining why the developer cannot implement such feature. And then the more I become a developer myself, and I realize it's a very complex problem.
Okay, okay.
Let's open up a new something to see on lah, something
It's good. It
to
just makes
think.
you a more knowledgeable person, a more empathetic person. Like you have empathy towards others because what their role, what's their
Yes,
role all about, lah. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
correct, correct.
So in terms of, let's say, if I were to ask you, right, to name out one challenge, one biggest challenge or obstacle in your learning journey, what would that be?
Algorithm.
Algorithm. Okay.
Yes,
Want to
correct.
elaborate on that? Yeah.
Yes. I realize it why I every time I see a solution, I always think, how can they come up with such solution?
Yeah.
I always think like that. How come they come up with such a solution? I can't even think of how you get it. And then, of course, after that, I tried. And people say, "Oh, data structure algorithm." But then a lot of courses out there, or a naysayer, I can say it, instead of say you don't need to learn this if you want to be this. That is, you don't listen to it. You just learn, and it will change. It will change how we write a code, lah. And the best courses for that for free is CS50 by Harvard University. I
Yes.
really like that.
I use that myself as well.
Right. So learn algorithm as a structure no matter what people say. This is the
What do you
biggest
think
obstacle. Hmm?
what do you think is one thing that you would do differently? One thing, not do differently, but what do you feel like if there's one way that you can accelerate your learning progress, what would that one thing be?
Accelerate my learning process.
Yeah, what do you think would have helped a lot? Yeah.
Help a lot. One thing. Let me think about it.
No worries. Take your
Maybe
time. Take your time.
maybe change how I see a bad code is. What I mean by that is because I been going through this something called perfectionist hell. Yeah. Every time I see my bad code is, and I see someone who do it better, I stuck there for a long time pondering how can I make such a bad stuff. And then sometimes it can take weeks. This is last time I'm not now. It can take weeks to a month that I feel that I'm not good enough. Lah. And it slow my learning down when in fact if I just continue it's okay. It's a bad code, but at least it's work. Actually it will fasten my learning process. Lah. Because I
So
learned
the
from
point
mistake.
is go on. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, because I learned from the mistake. Lah. And if you know what's your mistake are, that means you know what's the problem and you know where to learn. What next
Yeah.
stuff you need to learn today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, something
So
like
the
that.
point really is to know to know where is the problem, lah, and not overemphasize on the problems and just go ahead
Yes,
and proceed.
yes. Not
Cool.
not overemphasize on it. if you don't understand the problem, then that's mean you still haven't understand stuff.
Yep. I agree. I completely agree. Okay, cool, man. I think I just have a few more questions, right? Which is
Mm.
probably you want to know as well. What are your own plans for the future? Career goals, your own plans for the future?
Ah, this is hard topic.
Why,
Mm. Um, in terms of my career, I plan to go into a full stack maybe in next 2 or 3 years. Full stack there is feasible maybe until 5 years, and maybe I want to do my own side gig, maybe a few startup here and there. There is long term project
Yeah.
because I
Any
always
reason why you stopped freelancing? Um, or doing
any
side
reason.
projects? Yeah.
Oh, there's no reason actually. Actually, I stopped freelancing is because I'm back to coaching. Yeah, that's the only reason. But then I still receiving a few. My last freelance is doing an AR filter for
Okay.
Gojek for
Okay.
Gojek Indonesia. Uh, think that's about it. I don't really have a real reason why I stopped.
Cool. So just to summarize, your goals for the future would really to be more of even a better developer, a full stack developer within the next few years. What do you think about going more on a managerial path where you are more like a product lead? Will you see yourself more as a product manager someday? Or no, you want to go focus on as being a tech lead? What are your thoughts on this?
Actually, I really do interested in a product manager because I feel like my role is suitable in that department.
Mm,
Because no matter what, I have a background in design and also some technical knowledge of the tech itself. So I feel I will be quite valuable in connecting, bringing the gap between the design and the tech itself. Because I know as a developer and designer myself, I know there's a lot of requests on certain thing that is impossible vice versa lah. It's all hard to achieve on vice versa.
mm.
So I do interested in product, product management, manager part instead of tech lead.
That's nice. That's
Something like
nice.
that.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I myself, I'm like a product manager nowadays, doing a lot of all this stuff, and I really enjoy
Mm,
it. So we can chat about this more in the future as well. So
mm.
I think one last question, right, would be the fact that you did university. How much did you pay for your uni? Just wondering. It was
Oh,
3 years, is it? How many years was it?
so 3 years is roughly 55K.
Or do you get a scholarship or like a loan or something?
I didn't get any scholarship, but I do have a certain thing called uh rebate. Is it?
Or
Yeah,
rebate,
rebate.
like a discount, like a small discount.
Yeah, I got it because of my foundation, I think,
Okay.
and yeah, got they cut like 8,000 per semester.
Okay, and when you moved to KL or Cyberjaya to be exact, right? Cyberjaya.
Mm.
We moved to Cyberjaya from Sarawak, right? How much do you have to pay for your rent and your food and expenses, all that, right?
Oh, this
Yeah, how
one
much
I
was that?
remember.
How much was that? All these expenses monthly.
Monthly, roughly around 1K, 1,000
Around
per
1K.
month.
Hey, that's not too much, right? For
It's not too
accommodation
much.
and for food. I see.
It's
Okay.
roughly 1K.
So I just want to is all this cost that adds up for university, right? What are your thoughts
Mm.
on university education, right? It's for someone like you who came from a non-tech background, like you broke into tech,
Mm.
learning all this on your own, right? What's
Mm.
your take on university now compared to what you had back in the days?
Compared to 16 how I also it's hard to answer because I didn't graduate not long ago. And
No, I mean,
mm,
not no, I mean, what's your opinion on universities? Like,
opinion.
do you regret doing it, or how do you find it? Spending all that money on university, and now you don't even work in that industry anymore. You know.
Oh, okay. Actually, I didn't regret anything. I didn't regret, which is actually I quite like it because no matter what, even though the lecturer or they didn't teach us certain thing, but they actually giving us a problem. The
Mm,
problem that's which we need to solve no matter what. And as a
mm,
person who who can fit on those stressful moment to chase deadline. It's really accelerate my learning actually.
What would you say you value the most out of a university, a 3-4 year university degree?
Value the most. Oh, value the most.
What do you value the most? Yeah.
I value the most. I value the opportunity that I get. If you check my resume, I joined one competition that my university asked me to create, not to create, lah, to propose an idea about an app. Actually, that's the
Okay.
biggest, yeah, app. That's the point where I interested in this kind of startup culture.
In technology, is it?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
technology and startup. Okay. What was this app about?
This app about I was proposing about health kit that connect with health app connect with health kits such as your Apple Watch, your
Oh, okay.
Fitbit, all those things.
Is this like a hackathon?
It's not a hackathon. It's a small into a they call it research and research. It's research and innovation something I don't remember, but it was
So,
held on 2017.
so what was your role? Because back then you still couldn't code, right? Design, is
I'm
it?
a I'm a researcher and yeah, I do design, but I use last time I used tools lah for it for Adobe XD they call it when they recently came out.
So it's really more UI UX design, is it, for the app?
It's nothing to do with design. This is more about researching. It's
I don't understand. No, you said you use Adobe XD
uh,
for research. What does that mean? Yeah.
that's how I present my product to make as if it's a
Okay.
real product. Because last time when people were trying to propose their idea prototype, it's just on paper. But what we did is that you actually can click on the phone
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
see how it's worked. So we're doing a something called a paper prototype, but on a phone, not really paper prototype, but it's a you can see it's working lah
You
without
can
code.
see it working lah. Basically, you can see it working. It's the
Uh,
UI is drawn out lah, right?
yes, correct.
But what research is this?
It's open research actually, but what we're doing is just about how to connect all the health kit and your health together with an AI with TensorFlow lah, basically last time.
Oh, that's interesting. So you guys had your developers to do it as well lah. I assume other students from different
No,
faculties.
this is pure research, nothing to do with execution at all.
Means it's a PhD person doing a research, is it?
Most of them PhD, but I'm lucky enough to be part of it because I was chosen with my partner as a representative from our faculty.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool, cool.
that's actually open to a lot of new things to me, and which why am I today also?
Yeah. So that event is something that really inspired you to that opportunity, like if you put it that way, right? Is one of the
Yes,
biggest highlights of your university education.
yes,
I
and
think
also
you act interested.
a time where I met a VC. I still have
Okay.
his card. This the one
From
that
which VC?
no VC venture
From which
capital.
yeah, from what VC?
He's the one that invest in Money's app. If you heard about it previously, Money's app. Money's app is like Groupon. I think it's popular back in 3 years ago lah. Yeah,
Oh,
that's how. Oh, all this startup thing. Oh, there's a such thing called. They will invest in you. There's a lot of new
yeah,
terms by that time lah. It's
yeah.
open to a new world beside or just work 9 to 5, 9 to 5.
Are you interested in the VC industry,
Yeah,
Julio?
yeah, I'm interested. That's
Mm.
why on my if you previously read my all my written resume everything, I joined a uh, boot camp in Webe Digital, where they talk to you how to get a VC, how to start your project, where
Oh,
to
how
find
like
someone to invest.
it's more of an entrepreneurial boot camp, lah, like how to get
Yes, yes,
funding and all that.
yes,
Interesting.
correct.
Wow, I think this is a topic for another day, but I think I think we're going a bit over time now. Maybe we can
Yeah.
set this for another call. But yeah, cool. I think let's just wrap up this call because it's getting a bit long.
Mm,
What would your final closing note be? For anyone watching this video?
my final. especially for developer out there. For developer.
For learners lah, for learners, juniors.
Honest. Just keep on going. It will be hard at the first point. Don't give up. Everyone feel that, not only you. And after a while, you feel everything is achievable. Even the complete things like rejects.
Yeah.
yeah,
I hated that. Hated that.
at
Cool,
first it's
cool.
very complicated. What is this numbers? What
Alien
is this
language,
symbol?
right?
Then
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So
Okay. Cool, cool. Okay, hey, thank you so much, Julio, for your time, and I'm looking forward to start working with you very soon. If you have anything else to share, feel free to let me know. Like, you can write a blog or whatever in our profile as well if you like to.
all
So
right.
cool. Okay, thank you, Julio. Thanks for watching, everyone.
All right. Thank you
Okay,
everyone. Hope
see
I
you
answer
guys.
all the question. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, see ya. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Julio.
All right.